Hello, everybody. One of the key questions that we get in human resources and in organization in general is, how should we compensate an employee? A similar statement is, how is compensation determined? So if an organization looks at an employee, how is that employee's compensation determined by the organization? There's a couple factors that I would highlight in relation to how compensation is determined. First is the easy one, which is it's the ability and willingness of an organization to compensate an employee. Pretty simple. They have to be able to pay you, which means they have to have the money, they have to have the profits, they have to have the revenue, the income, whatever it may be, in order to compensate an employee to the level that they want. They also have to have the willingness. Willingness often comes with their compensation philosophy. Are they going to pay people, their employees, at the market? Are they going to pay them more above the market, below the market? Are they going to pay all their employees relatively the same? Are they going to give all their employees the same increase? So that's a philosophical aspect that you'd have to pay attention to in your organization. So the first is the ability and willingness of an organization to compensate an employee. The other two or three are really interesting, but I think that they're somewhat intuitive. First is your worth to an organization. Are you worth them paying you what they're paying you? And we look at a couple of things with worth. Are you bringing in a percentage of the profits, a higher percentage of profits? Does your employment result in the organization having a greater share of income revenues than without you? Customer satisfaction is another aspect. If you're not directly related to sales or bringing in revenue, do you bring in customers that then bring in revenue simply because of the way you interact with customers? Finance, accounting, even human resources, marketing. They may not necessarily bring in a customer and directly sell, but by virtue of them talking to their customers in terms of their bills or shipping, then they could help keep and retain customers. So that's a big part. The third is that you have ideas or concepts that improve the organization. So you may not actually be out there selling the product, and you may not be interacting with customers, but the designs that you create with the ingenuity, your mental intellect, can be such that your worth to an organization is significant, even astronomical. The third determining factor in compensation is your worth to a competitor. This always gets me because some people say, oh, that's not necessarily a key factor. It actually is, because you're only as powerful, you're only as successful as the brightest employee that you have. And if you lose that employee to a customer, then you put yourself at a significant disadvantage vis-a-vis your competitive environment, your competitive industry. So there's some organizations that will pay employees to work for them simply because if they knew they went to their competitor, it would cause, for instance, a dramatic loss in customers. So your worth to a competitor is also significant. And lastly, I use this term quite a bit, and that's likability. I've said for many years the three factors you need to be successful in just about any endeavor is to work hard, be likable, and overcome challenges. If you can do those things, you'll always be successful. The likability is a key factor in compensation. People pay people that they like. They want to be around people they like. It's just such a key intangible. So the four factors are your ability and willingness of an organization to compensate its employees. Second is your worth to the organization, your worth to a competitor, and lastly, likability. Everybody, enjoy the day. We shall chat again.